Throughout European history, the Adriatic and Ionian Seas have played an important and strategic role as they are shared by 7 countries. Maritime traffic, oil and gas exploration activities, fishing, and tourism are considered to be of high economic value within the area. However, all these activities pose serious threats and pressures to the natural capital and may have an adverse effect on the ecosystem functioning of both seas. Sustainable economic growth and prosperity can only become feasible through coordinated efforts and transnational cooperation.
This is what the Adrian Project HARMONIA, funded by the EU Interreg program, represents, since its main goal will be to harmonize and coordinate all efforts in contaminant assessment in the Adriatic and Ionian Seas. This will be specifically focused on protocols for the environmental impact assessment of offshore activities, from installation to decommissioning, an issue which requires a shared and harmonized approach.
A total of 99 ports of various sizes can be found along the Adriatic and Ionian coastline. As a result, a large number of cargo, passenger, fishing, and recreational vessels make the Adriatic and Ionian Seas some of the most navigated areas of the world.
Port of Koper is an international cargo and passenger port, and there are about 2,200 vessels coming each year.
Gjatë këtij projekti, ky projekt konsiston në grumbullimin e të dhënave nga artikujt e ndryshëm shkencor ose nga aktivitetet të ndryshme që janë organizuar në.
International regulations have been created in order to prevent marine pollution from operational and accidental causes. Despite these efforts, maritime activities can have negative environmental impacts, such as oil and chemical spills, widespread sediment contamination, and dry bulk cargo releases, amongst others.
HARMONIA aims at sharing knowledge and competencies to propose best practices for monitoring and assessment of marine contaminants, to strengthen the network of data infrastructures, to facilitate use and reuse of marine data in the Adriatic and Ionian Sea, and to propose a common approach for pollution risk assessment from sea-based sources. HARMONIA objectives and results are presented and discussed with an heterogeneous groups of stakeholders in order to focus on the real needs of the Adrian region. This will develop in a regional network of professionals involved in marine monitoring, assessment and management.
134 gas and 6 oil platforms operate in the Adriatic region, while currently there are 70 active licenses for exploration throughout both the Adriatic and Ionian Seas.
Oil and gas activities can induce a potential impact on the environment, depending on the stage of the process, the condition and sensitivity of the surrounding environment, and techniques adopted for pollution prevention, mitigation and control.
Environmental monitoring program collects data on hydrological parameters, chemical and physical variables, contaminant concentration in water, sediment and biota, biological responses, bioaccumulation, benthic community structure and fish assemblages. The environmental monitoring of offshore activities may be a flexible, multidisciplinary and integrated tool to identify spatial and temporal trend of the possible alterations, minimizing and mitigating the potential impact of offshore platforms.
If you consider oil discharging in the sea, or let's say cuttings that are coming through the wells, you can have common procedures in order to comply with the strictly environmental parameters and laws. And this is what we follow. We follow, for example, the Barcelona Convention, where it says that you cannot discharge more than 40 milligrams per liter of oil water or oil production, formation water into the sea, or you cannot exceed the 100 milligram per liter as the maximum, let's say, value.
It is well established that good data is the basis to achieve knowledge. In fact, this is the main philosophy behind Harmonia vision. The use of common data infrastructures and standard vocabularies facilitates the adoption of a common language within different disciplines such as research, management of the environment, and human activities. The use of metadata, which is the data about data, to widely describe data is fundamental in order to make information fair, which stands for findable, accessible, interoperable, and reusable.
One of the project objectives is to exploit part of data aggregated to access possible pathways of contaminant dispersion and evaluate environmental vulnerability in areas of high natural and socio-economic relevance. Special type of information is visual type of information. On Harmonia geoportal, general public and stakeholders can find web representation of GIS layers. Today, with modern approach to web visualization, we are capable of intuitive and easy access to spatial data. Overlaying different spatial layers, the user can get better impression about various spatial properties. Harmonia geoportal is realized using open-source GeoServer for processing and sharing geospatial data.
The marine area from the north of Corfu to the south of Crete has already been conceded to the oil industry for hydrocarbon exploration and exploitation. This is an area of 56,000 square kilometers in size, around approximately double the size of Belgium. The area overlaps with the Hellenic Trench, a critical habitat for iconic marine species such as the sperm whale, the Cuvier-beaked whale, 4 different types of dolphins, the loggerhead sea turtle, and the monk seal. WWF Greece is opposing this hydrocarbon development program, is calling for an immediate ban, and supports a transition to a zero-carbon energy future, which is strongly relying on energy efficiency and renewable energy.
At the end of Harmonia, we hope to provide the appropriate methods and tools to support harmonized implementation of Marine Environmental Directive in the Adrian area. The needs of method harmonization and of data availability are of course not limited to the Adrian region, and the risk assessment methodology developed for specific case study areas can be further adapted to other regions. This is why we like to say that we adopted an approach to think locally in order to act regionally.
The Harmonia project will ultimately enhance the capacity to safeguard ecosystem services at a transnational scale by promoting networking and bringing together both scientists and stakeholders.